powerful. I'm glad you're watching today. I want to talk to you about why you need a crazy big goal. You may have heard of the law of the rubber band. The law of the rubber band basically says that in order to be effective, you have to be stretched. You want to go to the next level, you have to be stretched. And stretching isn't fun. It's not comfortable. It's awkward. Sometimes it hurts. It's painful, but it's necessary to go to the next level. In fact, Brian Tracy said, move out of your comfort zone. You can only grow if you're willing to feel awkward and uncomfortable when you try something new. Well, I believe there's too much at stake this year for it to be a repeat of last year. You have to stretch yourself and get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? Well, I want you to think about what is that one crazy big goal that if you really achieved it this year, it could affect everything else. It could be something like you launch your own website, or you pay off that lingering debt that you've been paying on year after year, but this is the year it's completely paid in full. Or you get a license, a pilot's license, a real estate license, some type of a degree that maybe years you've been putting this thing off and you've only got 2 semesters left and you say, this is it. I am achieving that goal. It could be, starting a blog or going on radio or adding a new network or singing before an audience, releasing an album or finishing a manuscript, a book you've been wanting to write. What is that one crazy big goal that if you achieved it, it could affect everything else? Well, of course, in goal setting, they say that when you're setting your goals, you need to set them with like a 50% chance of probability. In other words, if all of your goals are big and crazy, then you're going to be very disappointed. Your mindset's going to feel defeated, deflated, and you're probably going to be mad at me. Don't set every single goal as a crazy big one, but I want you to at least set one. I'm talking about your highest expectation, the kind that you have to use that mountain-moving faith towards it if it's ever going to come to pass. You need that. You need something that stretches you. In fact, Michael Hyatt, he's an expert on goal setting. He said, believe it or not, we are more likely to persevere if we pursue big goals rather than small ones. He said that sounds a little counterintuitive because we think a goal is more realistic than maybe we have a chance of achieving it. But we won't be as tempted to bail out, and it doesn't capture our imagination. See, that's the thing. Research shows there's a direct link between the difficulty of a goal and our enthusiasm and performance. So the bigger the goals, the more compelling it is. We do that up here at the ministry. We'll set a few goals that are so big that there's no way we can achieve this unless God comes on the scene and we really got to use our faith. Well, it gets our imagination going. We begin to think differently. In fact, I like how Michael Hyatt, he says there's 3 types of zones that people tend to set goals in. First is the comfort zone. That means that there's no fear, there's no doubt, there's no just anxiety about it. There's no excitement about it. In fact, you're pretty confident you can do it. It could be like maybe you have a Visa payment. You have this debt on this Visa bill. And you think, well, I'm going to pay an extra $5 a month. That doesn't put a demand on your faith probably. And you're pretty confident I can do this. I'm going to pay a little extra every month. Well, then there's the discomfort zone. This is the one where you say, I'm going to pay off that Visa bill, $11,436.12, and I don't have a clue how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to use my faith for it. Now, when you set a goal that's big for you, whatever that is, it puts a demand on your faith. It causes you to think differently. It causes you to plan differently on paper. It causes you to believe differently. You think about that. It causes you to just take a deep breath and you just say, Lord, I don't know how you're going to do this, but I believe you will. And then you start declaring things like, Lord, I thank you. My spirit attracts God-inspired ideas that produce millions of dollars. Lord, I thank you for opening up opportunities for me to make extra money. You may have heard me say this before, but when you're believing that big for an impossible goal, when what you see on the inside becomes more real than what you see on the outside, it's just a matter of time. God's going to give you ideas, opportunities, resources, and relationships to achieve those goals. So set a goal that's in the discomfort zone. That means you're very uncomfortable, you feel awkward, you're a little bit scared, but you trust God. And then the third zone that Michael Hyatt talks about is the delusional zone. You don't want to be in that one. Now, a lot of times people do that. That's where the goal is so big and so crazy. It's like me winning American Idol. It's not going to happen. First of all, I'm too old. But aside the fact that my voice is not that quality, that's just delusional. Or maybe you've never saved money in your life. You make, $30,000 a year and you're saying, I'm going to have $500,000 by next year. That could be a little delusional. So don't go that crazy with it, but do set a goal in that discomfort zone that puts a demand on your faith. And there's so many people who have overcome all the excuses as to why they couldn't achieve those big goals. Like you think of insecurity being an excuse. Well, look at Justin Bieber. A kid at 14 years old had the guts to believe in himself, broadcast himself on YouTube, discovered at the age of 14 he made more than $110 million within 5 years of being discovered. Or a lack of money. A lot of times people say, I'm not going to set a big goal because I don't have the money. Well, look at Mark Zuckerberg. At 19 years old, he didn't shy away from his radically new idea, took time investing in this crazy form of communication back then, not knowing if it would work or not. He launched Facebook in 2004. By 2007, he was a billionaire. Or people can say, well, I just went through a divorce. I don't think I can set some big goals. I just went through this divorce. Catherine Houston started out as a nurse and then a stay-at-home mom. When her marriage failed, she thought she would chase her own dreams once and for all. She became an actress at 60 years old. She pursued her dream of acting. She appeared on Family Matters, Scrubs, Desperate Housewives, and won 2 Emmy Awards. Think about how many times people use excuses to not go after their big dreams. Listen to this. I love this. Some people can allow flaws to stop you. Peter Roget had OCD. The only thing that would calm him down was making random lists. In the end, he simply started on this infinite project of creating a list of synonymous words. At the age of 73, he invented Roget's thesaurus. Isn't that awesome? I want to just share a few of those with you because a lot of times you can say, this is for everybody else but me. It's for you. I believe this is your year. It's not going to be a repeat of the year before, but you've got to set a big goal that puts a big demand on your faith. Why? Because you serve a big God. Now, if you're enjoying this podcast, please subscribe to this channel. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter because I want to keep you motivated to achieve your dreams. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.